There comes a time when you gotta make a choice to stand up or serve on bended knee. It's got a name, it's got a place in the USA called Sweet Liberty.
The EPA is now providing funding to NGO groups to run training programs for people to photograph and report neighbors who may be committing crimes against the environment. This summer, Obama signed Executive Order 13575 to create the White House Rural Council. The Council is a list of the most aggressive agencies and departments of the U.S. government. It will bring an army of regulators into rural areas to completely control every action, every decision of land use, farming, and development. Farmers, did I do something? Farmers who have been feeding America for over 200 years will not be able to make a single decision without permission and massive... Is that me? Smart meter, yeah. Yes. There will be an army of regulators with paper and massive paper and massive paper and massive paper. You can't just satisfy one agency. You may have to satisfy all 25 before you can do what you want to do on your farm. And the only result of that can be food shortages and higher prices. Several cities are now taking grants to create a plug-in deployment program using your tax dollars to assure the city is ready for electric cars. I heard the other day there are something like 14,000 electric cars in the entire country. But Raleigh, North Carolina, where I was educated, established convenient and grid-compatible plug-in vehicle charging infrastructure, develop relationships with plug-in vehicle and component manufacturers, and ensure, here's the exciting part, after we've done all these wonderful things, ensure vehicle availability in the North Carolina market. Public-private partnerships. Explore opportunities for economic development related to plug-in vehicles. Economic development related to plugging in your car. And of course, the whole excuse is environmental protection. This plan in North Carolina, and I'm sure it's other places, has all of the 3 E's at work with the public-private partnerships and the stakeholders all in one program. The program openly admits that it's all necessary because otherwise people won't buy plug-in vehicles. You know, at least under the free market system, the oil companies paid for their own filling stations after free Americans made their own choice as to what kind of car to buy. Welcome to the utopia of sustainable development. This is Big Brother at its worst, and it's planned, controlled, and enforced by your local leaders and representatives in partnerships with groups like ICLEI, an organization whose vice chairman, Harvey Revin, said, quote, "Individual rights will have to take a back seat to the collective." Let me ask you this. Would any of your elected officials openly admit to enforcing communism in your community? Of course not. Then why are they so eager to be in partnership with an organization which does? The United States is not a global village run by elders who hand down the rules from on high. We are a nation of individuals whose rights are supposed to be protected and guaranteed by the representatives that we elect. We demand accountability from them. However, global forces which do not accept the unique American form of government sneak behind the curtain, avoiding controversy and honest debate. The only possible result can be the tyranny over a powerless electorate stripped of their rights, their property, and their self-determination. Global warming has been the excuse for the hysteria, but true science is now showing that to be the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on humankind. So there's no need for these dire policies to cut back our carbon footprint or by forcing us to lock away land and resources and live in high-density cracker boxes. We all want a clean environment. However, what we are objecting to here is not environmental protection, but the process that's being used in its name. There is nothing local or innocent or normal about it. Again, I'll go through it again. It starts at an international agenda created by ideological zealots working hand in hand through massive international gatherings sponsored through the United Nations. At those massive meetings, documents are carefully prepared for the signatures of leaders of every nation, including the United States. Once signed, the bureaucracies of our federal government use documents like Agenda 21 as a blueprint for legislation and regulations. To write that legislation, the bureaucrats work hand in hand with the same NGOs who wrote the UN documents in the first place. And then these same UNGOs, sanctioned NGOs, such as the Sierra Club and the Nature Conservancy, team up with groups like ICLEI and the American Planning Association to apply pressure and make sure local city councils and county supervisors toe the line. The resulting non-elected boards, councils, and regional governments appointed by an ecoligarchy, answerable to no one, is the perfect definition of a Soviet, a centrally controlled economy. And I assure you, we cannot restore our unique American republic if our communities are little Soviets. Nor can we protect the environment if our economy is destroyed and free men are unable to make choices other than survival in a sustainabilist tyranny. The sustainabilists are using our carbon footprint as a measure of our guilt. One fact is sure: if you have no carbon footprint, you are dead. Elected officials can no longer play ignorant about the origins of their policies. America is dying while they are denying. It is their elected duty to represent the people and protect them from these piranhas that are devouring our way of life. To save it, you must take action now and understand that the main battle to stop Agenda 21 and sustainable development is being fought not in Congress, right here on the local level. We must stand up and protest at every city council and county commissioner meeting, at every planning board, and every consensus meeting. Fight the creation of non-elected councils, commissions, or boards because they can and they will be used as a weapon against your ability to deal and reason with local government. And above all, refuse federal or state money or new sustainable programs and work to get rid of the old ones. And if ICLEI and the American Planning Association are running things in your town, throw them out. Stop payment of dues, disband anything that they have built, and start looking for some high-grade tar and feathers. And if your elected officials continue to ignore you while playing footsie with those leading this tyranny, then you must force them out of office. Your survival depends on it. Nameless, faceless bureaucrats wielding power in the back rooms, untouchable and unseen, is not freedom. The sustainabilists now haunt the upper levels of the federal government, our state houses, and our city council chambers. In these very dangerous times, it is easy to despair over the nation's future. They have achieved many of their goals, but they have not yet won.
There comes a time when you gotta make a choice to stand up or serve on bended knee. It's got a name, it's got a place in the USA called Sweet Liberty.